Hello, I'm Caede. After you pay the entrance fee, you'll be handed a beautiful ticket. Actually, the design of the ticket changes depending on the season. They will show cherry blossoms in spring and colored maple leaves in autumn. It's so beautiful that you can use it as a bookmark. In front of the Todoroki gate, where you show your ticket, there is the owl water basin. It's magnificent, isn't it? With water coming out of the mouth of a big dragon. Hmm? It's called the owl basin, but there's no owl to be seen. It would make sense if it was called the dragon water basin, though. Actually, there is a carving of an owl and a Kannon Bodhisattva on the base of the water basin. This second generation basin was donated in 1835, so the carvings have faded and are hard to see due to the surrounding enclosure, but they are definitely there. The owl used to be considered a bird of good luck and a bird that could get rid of human worries, which is why they are ornamented here. The dragon carvings is a new one installed in 20th century. Incidentally, dragons are often seen in hand water bowls because they are considered to be the god of water. After purifying yourself here, let's go through the Todorokimon gate. After passing through the Todorokimon, you will see the Asakura Hall on your left. Most of the buildings of the Kiyomizudera burned down in the Oni War, a civil war. In 1510, the Asakura clan, headed by a feudal lord from the present-day Fukui Prefecture, donated a large sum of money to the Kiyomizu-dera, which was in the process of reconstruction. The amount was about 400 million yen. About half of the donation collected at that time came from the Asakura clan's lord. He must have been a very rich man. It is said that Asakura made a donation because of his deep faith in Buddhism, but also because he felt guilty because the Kiyomizu-dera burned down during the battle in which his father and uncle participated. Next to the Asakura Hall, there is a Bussoku-seki or a Buddha's footstone. Usually, Bussoku-seki are engraved footprints of Buddha, but it is said that the footprints in the Kiyomizu-dera are those of Taira no Kagekiyo, a warlord who was known for his strong legs. It is said that stroking this stone will take away any pain you may have in your back and legs. And so many visitors have already stroked it that the pattern on the footprints have almost disappeared. Can you see the spot with the iron canes and clogs where many people, especially children, gather? Let's try our luck here. The larger cane is 260 centimeters long and weighs 90 kilograms. The smaller one is 176 centimeters and 17 kilograms. Legend has it that if a man can lift the larger one with one hand and a woman the smaller one with the other hand, their wish will come true. The clogs weigh 12 kilograms per foot. They said that if a woman passed them, she will have no trouble finding shoes for the rest of her life. It is said that the iron clogs and the canes were donated to the Ottawa Falls by an ascetic as a thank you for fulfilling a wish. Can you lift the canes? The statue that greets visitors at the front is called Shuse Daikokuten, or God of Success. It's shiny because it was restored in 2008, and you might think it was made in the modern age. But it was actually first made in the 16th century. If you want to be successful in your career, please pray to Daikokuten-sama. Finally, we have arrived in the main area of the Kiyomizu-dera, the stage of the main hall. The main hall, first built in 798, is said to have been rebuilt in 1633 to take its present form. Anyway, there were so many worshippers that they had to build a very large stage and veranda. The main hall houses the Kiyomizu cannon, formerly known as the 11-faced, southern-armed, southern-eyed cannon bodhisattva, which can only be seen once every 33 years. The next time we can see her face will be in 2033. That's still a while away. The statue of the southern-armed cannon does not really have 1,000 arms, but usually has 40 arms, not including the ones held together in front of the chest. It is said that one arm can save 25 different wars. So 40 by 25 equals 1,000 arms. However, the cannon of the Kiyomizudera also has a small statue of the Buddha on top of the raised hands above her head. Since the main statue is a secret Buddha, in years other than the year of the showing of the hidden statue, the cannon is replaced by her substitute called Omaedate. Interesting! Now, the Kiyomizu-dera is famous for the Kiyomizu no Butai, or stage of Kiyomizu, right? I'll explain it in detail. The main hall of the Kiyomizu-dera has burned down 9 times, so it is hard to say exactly when the stage was first built. However, it is said that the stage was already there in the 12th century. The Ottawa Falls, which are now 3 narrow waterfalls, used to have a much larger volume of water, and the flowing water from the falls was like a river, creating this cliff. This stage is 190 square meters and consists of 420 boards made of Japanese cypress. It's about the same size as a single tennis court, all made of wood, and no metal nails were used to build the stage. It's also 13 meters tall, around the height of the 4-story high building. It will also be amazing to look up from down there later. The stage is supported by 18 Zelkoba pillars. These 18 pillars are in turn supported by Japanese cypress wood beams, passing horizontally through them. In some places, wooden nails called wedges are inserted. The wedges fill in the small gaps between the pillars and the transversely threaded wood. The reason for not using metal nails, etc., is that wood is more flexible. And in Japan, where there are earthquakes, a building made entirely of wood is considered to be less likely to collapse when it is shaking. The pillars have small roofs attached to them so that they are not directly exposed to the rain. And can you see that the stage is also sloped? This does not mean that it has become distorted over time, but rather that it has been made this way to prevent rainwater from accumulating. It's really amazing that this stage has existed since around the 12th century. The Zakaba trees that supplied the wood for the pillars were about 400 years old. In Japan, it is said that the wood of the Japanese cypress and Zakaba trees can last twice as long as the age of the trees when they were cut. Because the Zakaba wood that used for the pillars is now 400 years old, it should last for another 400 years. However, because it is difficult to find 400-year-old trees, so in 2020, the chief priest of Kiyomizudera planted about 3,000 cypress and Zakaba trees in Kyoto and Shiga. That's a good idea. In Japanese, there is a proverb that says, "Jump off the stage of Kiyomizu." It is used when making a decision with determination. For example, I jumped off the stage of Kiyomizu buying this expensive watch. It's true that jumping off a 12-meter high stage requires a lot of determination, doesn't it? In fact, 234 people actually jumped from this stage before the Meiji era. The Ottawa waterfall in the Kiyomizu-dera is believed to be connected to the Potaka Pure Land in India, and there was a rumor that if you jumped from the stage in front of the waterfall, you could go to the Pure Land. So if you jump off the stage and die here, you will go to the Pure Land. Even if you didn't die, if you would jump off the stage, your wish would come true. This is where this proverb came from. In fact, 34 out of the 234 people died, and 200 people were seriously injured. But isn't it amazing that 200 people survived after jumping from such a height? Actually, it seems that they were able to survive because the ground was not made of concrete like it is now, and it was much greener back then. In 1872, at the beginning of the Meiji era, they introduced a ban on jumping because it was too dangerous. Of course, it's still forbidden today. Today, many people come from all over the world, mainly to admire the beauty of the temple. But back in the day, it was a popular temple where many people came to listen to the sermons of the monks. However, some people, especially young men and women, pretended to come here to do so, but actually came here to find a lover. I guess seeking a place to meet potential partners hasn't changed. The Kiyomizu-dera of 1,000 years ago was often mentioned in the Makura no Zoshi, which was like a modern blog written by Seisho Nagon, a literary scholar who served the emperor's wife as a maid. She wrote about the monks at Kiyomizu-dera, the scenery of her pilgrimage, how she was moved by the sermons, the festival days, and so on. She also wrote, "The monks who preach must be beautiful men, and the sermons you hear from handsome monks are very gratifying. If it's an ugly monk, you'll want to look away and you won't be able to focus on the sermon. It's interesting to read that." 12 years after the great repair that started in 2008, the renovation of the stage was finally completed on December 3rd, 2020. When the stage was under repair, it looked like this. and you couldn't see it at all, but at least improved the look for visitors. Instead of using metal, the scaffolding was made of traditional wood. The total cost of the project was about 4 billion yen, and we had to repair 9 buildings separately, so it took us 12 years. It had been 50 years since the roof was replaced. This is what the roof looked like before it was replaced. It was definitely quite damaged, wasn't it? The roof of the main hall has a surface area of 2,050 square meters, about the size of 3 tennis courts, and it consists of 156 tons of hiwada, or Japanese cypress bark. The last time the roof was rethatched, it was 9 centimeters thick, and this time we restored it to a thickness of 17 centimeters, back to how it was when it was first built. The roof is now very beautiful, isn't it? Every year, the public from all over Japan is invited to select one kanji character that represents the year. The winning kanji character with the highest number of submissions is announced from the Kiyomizu stage on December 12th as a kanji character that represents the word of the year. What will this year's kanji be? The main hall and stage of the Kiyomizudera have been beautifully restored thanks to the repair work. After enjoying the view from here, please exit the main hall. You can also see the stage from the Okuno Inn on the other side. See you soon!